Hello and welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes, a new podcast series that seeks to find wise words on business, beauty, and betterment. I'm the host, Jackie Morreale. Today, we are very proud to welcome the directorial and production team behind the new film, Trapped Inside My Sin, which is now streaming on Fossum and Tubi. I am joined by the writer and director of the film, Vincent Vilardi. Welcome, Vin, who wrote the story, directed, and executive produced the film, as well as the producers, Peter Janiec, who also specializes in sourcing locations and networking, and Keith Cotugno, who also created the musical score. The storyline of Trapped Inside My Sin is a father moves into a new home with his wife and two kids, only to find out that he is being punished for committing a sin that he never took seriously. Trapped Inside My Sin has received 2 film wins and 3 nominations for awards. The film was shot in 2024 and released in 2025 from debut director and writer Vincent Vilardi, and features screenwriter Jeffrey Lanier and starring Brian Pollock, Marilyn Rodriguez, Victoria Stevens, and Dan Gregory, to name a few. Together, Vin, Peter, and Keith make Endless Vision Entertainment. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm so excited to
Thank
be
you for
here with
having
you
us.
today.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Jackie.
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear about you individually as a team, your process, and your new horror film, which I watched and I loved. I was so scared. It was amazing. Let's start off the interview with some background questions. Maybe you can all introduce yourselves with your name, where you're from, where you currently reside or work, what you do, your passion, how many years you've been doing it, and your favorite part of your role. Let's start with you, Vin.
So I currently live in Monroe Township, New Jersey, which is in central Jersey. I currently work at Major League Baseball Network. I've been working there for 15 years. I do graphics operating, so I'm editing and prompting operating for the on-air talent, and I assist the directors and producers in the studios as well. On the side, I've produced and directed. I directed 2 short films in my first feature film, which was Trapped Inside My Sin, and I produced 2 other short films to get experience before this feature film. My passion is filmmaking, especially in the horror genre. I like doing like documentary style as well. That's in sports with baseball. I've worked for Monday Night Football for ESPN, doing football games on the field producing and doing audio on the field as well.
You are a man of many talents. You got so much going on. You're so good at the first. I love
Getting
that
there, getting
that's
there.
your passion, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next. So your favorite part of your role is the filmmaking?
I would say directing and editing are my
Directing.
2 favorite things, but I say directing more so. I like being on set and being able to make something come to life. And I used to love editing the most, but it's so tedious and challenging.
Yeah.
Time consuming. Now that I have a family, my wife and kids, directing on set and then having somebody that can specialize in editing,
Yep.
that
Exactly.
part for me would be awesome. But with the Trapped Inside My Sin, I had to do both.
Exactly. I see really big things for you, so I'm sure that you'll have help in the editing world. But I know it's nice as a creator to really have a hand on the fine details of your art. It's an awesome skill to have. Peter, let's hear from you. Your name, where you're from, what you do, your passion, how many years you've been doing it, your favorite part of your job.
Yeah, let's get crazy. I'm Peter Janiec. I live in Sussex County, New Jersey. Lived up here for about 10 years. I grew up in Clifton, New Jersey. Graduated 2003, which I can't believe is close to 22 years ago. My goodness. I am a retired police sergeant. After 17 years of service, I got to leave and retire. My passion, horror. I love horror. I love baseball, and I'm a big Batman fan. So making Trapped Inside My Sin was such a cool experience doing it with these guys that you see on screen. My first taste of it was Vinny reaching out to me. And this is when I was still on the job. And he was like, hey, do you want to take part in making a short film? It was the smallest role, a scouting director. I showed him maybe a few locations and stuff, but I got to be part of it and showing the few locations and seeing what it takes to make those locations come to life. And then fast forward going to the premiere of that short film, it was just so cool. I'm like, man, how do I get into this world? I didn't go to school for any of this stuff. Again, I came from the law enforcement background. Vinny took me in, and a couple of short films later and a full feature film, here we are.
So Peter, so you're not from this world, you're from law enforcement, and now I kind of understand the interrogation scene a little bit better and
Yeah.
how everything kind of comes together. So you're sourcing the locations. I watched the film and I really felt like I was on a mental journey through New Jersey. I loved it. The house was super creepy. The neighborhood, it felt like I was back home in Central Jersey. It was awesome. You
Yeah.
did an awesome sourcing. So Keith, tell us more about yourself and your role, your name, where you're from, what you do, your passion, how many years, and your favorite part of your job.
I'm Keith Cotugno. I'm from Long Island, New York. Currently living in Levittown, born and raised in Elmont. Fellow New Yorker,
Love
Jackie.
it.
Yeah, I'm into music all my life. I'm a drummer at heart. Ever since a kid, I've been playing drums. My father was a drummer. I grew up with a lot of music in the house. I have an older brother, 7 years older, and he was more into electronic music. My dad was more rock, so I have a good mix of different
Awesome.
styles. It really contributes to what I put into all the creative things I do.
That is
I've
so
been
cool.
I've been doing it probably since maybe 8 years old. I started taking it serious with drums and showed a lot of interest. And then my father got me private lessons. We had a Broadway drummer come to the house and he would give me private lessons, and I built on that.
I
Been
remember
in the
those days.
band since I was a teenager, playing in bars when I'm like 16, doing that whole tour life with the band. When I hit like 21, I got more into electronic music. I got into the DJ realm, more music production, audio engineering, all self-taught. Music is a big
Yeah.
part of me. That's really
Amazing.
huge in my life. But also filmmaking is, something Vinny knows. We're cousins, and ever since we were kids, we've always been watching movies, scary movies, Jason, Halloween. When we're like 10 years old, we were always like intrigued by
Man.
it.
So you guys grew
Yeah,
up,
so you
you
used to
guys
play.
are family. That's
You have-
amazing.
Yeah.
And now you
Yeah.
work together too.
Yeah.
Any family drama? You guys work together great.
No,
I
it
could
was
see
Oh, we
it
just-
worked
pretty
together
easy
great.
going.
Yeah,
We're
it's all
kids, we got,
natural.
like-
Just everything's come natural.
That's
That's why
awesome.
it's a beautiful thing that we were able to do this and make a full-length movie, which is surreal still.
Yeah, it's insane.
Exactly. Okay, so Keith, Vin, you go way back. You're musical. You've always been musical. You've gone on tour and stuff. Vin, I know your dad plays the drums too. I have performed
Yep.
with your
Yeah.
dad before in a past life. Amazing. And Peter, how did you meet the crew? How did you get involved with Keith and Vin for this film?
So I met Vinny back when we lived in our apartment in Little Falls. He was at the apartment right across from mine, and through the common interest of baseball, we hit it off. He would make that long walk from his apartment to mine, which is again right across, and we would sit there and watch our YouTube stuff and the horror stuff. We just hit it off. We had so much in common. It was so natural. We played baseball together, and it just formed into this awesome relationship that's solid. You're talking 11 years later, and here we are. And I met Keith through Vinny, and what an awesome relationship with him as well. I can't think of anything bad about this guy. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Creative and
You're gonna make me
very
blush over here.
talented as well. Let me tell you, the talent that he has, it's amazing.
Well, it sounds like it was meant to be. It sounds like you guys are on your path. This is your debut feature film together as director and production team. I can't wait to see what's next. So we got your backgrounds. You guys are all super creative. It's had always been into horror, and here you are. You just created your first feature film, horror genre film, winning awards and been shown at so many different film festivals. Let's go through some quick fire questions and see how well you guys know each other. Let's start with Keith. What was your favorite horror movie of all time?
Oof. I'm gonna go left field on this.
Okay.
Jurassic Park. I gotta say,
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
yes. I think it's a horror movie. The first one, the original Jurassic Park. It's a horror
It's
movie.
thrilling.
I mean,
for
What
sure.
was the best one, by the way?
Yeah,
It's
but
amazing.
there is a dark tone in there that has that horror aspect, which I love, and it also brings other things, like it brings adventure, it brings the drama, like it has everything in one. But I think that makes it a unique horror movie, and it's one of my favorite movies.
Love that. How many are there at this point, right? There's so many. They're still
20?
making it. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I. That's what I
Yeah.
see for Trapped Inside My Sin too. There's just so much you could do with it. But
Yeah,
anyway, I'll
definitely.
stop fangirling. Peter, what's your favorite horror movie of all time?
So I actually have two. I had the original Halloween
Ooh,
that John Carpenter directed. That's an instant classic. That's what catapulted the Friday the 13th and the
Yes.
slasher film. It was the definition of suspense. Like if you weren't jumping through that movie, then man, you don't got no feeling.
Yeah.
My other one is Event Horizon. It's a sci-fi horror.
I remember
It's
that.
about a
That is a
ship
good one.
that went missing, reappeared 7 years later, and when it reappeared, they sent a rescue ship to rescue the crew to find out that that ship warped into hell and came back and pretty much brought the ship alive, or the ship came alive and was killing its crew one by one. It was such a unique sci-fi type of storytelling. It was really good. It was definitely a very good, gory horror film.
Man, so you don't shy away from the wet stuff, huh? The gory stuff.
No,
You don't
no, I
shy
love
away.
gore. Another one of The Terrifier, another one of my favorites with Damien Leone. That was the definition of gore.
Gore fest.
Yeah, I don't know what he did in
Yeah.
that.
Love it. And Vin, what's your favorite horror movie of all time?
I'd say there's two of them. I like The Exorcist,
Mm.
which is a paranormal exorcism demon kind of a film, which is a big classic. And I would say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They shot that with such a low budget, and it feels realistic. It feels like that's something that could happen in real life, where some of these other horror films, it turns into like, the villain dies and then they turn into a ghost and they come back to haunt you, and then it becomes more unrealistic and it gets silly. I feel like Texas Chainsaw always stays like psychotic and crazy. It's a good combination of suspense and gore.
Love that. You're reminding me of my 90s Blair Witch Project, right? Like low budget, but super scary and awesome.
Yeah, it was
and
effective, that movie.
effective. Exactly. Okay, so let's cleanse our palate a little bit. So favorite book, Vin, you want to continue? What's your favorite book?
Probably the Stephen King It book, even though that's probably one of my top 3 favorite films, the remake that they did. That's one of the films that really inspired me to want to do this horror filmmaking, because of the way it was shot and the music score and the intensity and the bass and everything, the whole aspect of it. But the book was really crazy too, because there was a lot more crazy R-rated stuff inside the book that wasn't in the film.
Stephen King's writing. Oh, man, as somebody who loves to write, his writing is so good. He could write about anything and it's amazing. Peter, what's your favorite book of all time?
I'm a big fan of Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant. So I actually saw the movie first, and I was like, oh, this movie is so great. It had the guy from Step Brothers, and like I didn't realize it was written off of a book series. I think it was like 8 or 9 books. And I read the book series and was like, the movie's terrible. It didn't follow the book series at all. It was a dark, gritty series to read. It was essentially about a vampire that half-bloods a human to make him half vampire, so this way he can still be awake during the night and do the deeds of the vampire. And it takes you on this incredible journey that's really dark. No, the movie did a massive disservice to it. Like if they followed the book series, it could have been the Harry Potter series, just the horror version. I have another favorite book. It's probably not related to horror, my law enforcement background, but it's called Games Criminals Play. It's written by Bud Allen from the late 80s. It's its own classification system on what inmates can do psychologically. They're very fascinating. They let you inside the mind of an inmate. Really,
Wow.
really good. I know that's left field, but
No, but that's a thriller in itself, right? And there's so much there that you've probably dealt with in your past life that you're
Oh, yeah.
bringing in, and it's so interesting. Vampires, man, I love to read and watch about vampires. Are they considered horror genre, or is this more fantasy world? Because I don't know where it's blurry.
It borders, yeah.
Thriller fantasy kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how you write it or how you tell the story. I
True.
think you can go any well. You can make a vampire bubbly, or you make them dark
Right.
and
You can make it YA,
scary,
right. You can make
know.
it Disney, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Just depends. Right, Keith, favorite book of all time?
I'm more into like the informative type of books. I've learned a lot over like my younger years, learning all about audio engineering and things like that. One book I like is the Book of Alchemy. If you ever get to check it out, it's very creative, all for creative people. You can find inspiration in anything, wherever you go, who you meet, there's inspiration to be found, and it's powerful for creative people. We're always looking for inspiration. Sometimes we run dry of inspiration, and you got to just keep it going to forge forward.
And for somebody who's self-taught in the music field, whew, you must be reading a lot. That's awesome. And to keep the creative juices flowing, I love that.
Yeah, pretty much YouTube and articles.
Love it.
That's how I learned a lot. We're living in a crazy world where you can
YouTube
learn
helps
so
a lot.
much.
Absolutely. Okay, Keith, let's start with you because you've got the musical background. Who's your favorite singer or band or genre?
I got to go with 9 Inch Nails. It's
9 Inch
my
Nails.
Trent Reznor. He's a big inspiration in a lot of what I do ever since I was a kid. So I try to incorporate a lot of that, his energy, his like mood, his tone and everything into what I do.
That's awesome. I was just trying to explain to my child what 90s grunge is, and I couldn't like put my finger on it, but I was like, it's the music that you just want to kind of, rock your head to. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was a vibe. It was a
vibe. Exactly. It was a vibe. So Vin, what's your favorite singer or band or genre of music?
Like rock and some hip hop. I don't really have a favorite singer or specific band, I'll pretty much listen to anything. From
Awesome.
Billy Joel and Rolling Stones all the way to Disturbed and Slipknot. I'll go all over the
Just
place.
depends
Classics.
on your
Yeah.
mood. Yeah, love it. Peter, what's your favorite singer or band or genre of music?
So I'm probably going to copycat Vinny on this. And I like to listen to anything that has a good beat that's motivational. That can get you going, whether it's rock or hip hop or country. I recently warmed up to techno. Never really fan of the fist pumping stuff, but
Okay.
being older now, it's kind of resonating with me a little bit.
It's resonating with you now. Love
Yeah.
it. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, anything that's motivational that can get you going is what I'll listen to.
Okay, cool. All right, let's try a different style with this one. Favorite subject in school? Everybody shout it at once. Ready, go.
Music
Phys
class.
Phys ed. Come on.
Band
I
class.
guess that counts. Yeah,
That's the no-brainer.
PE, and music. Is that what I got?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
All
science too. I like
Science.
that-
Okay, all right.
Science
We'll
is
give it
interesting.
science. All right, somebody's got to mix the blood on the horror film, right? Somebody's got to know the formula.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, favorite place? 1, 2, 3.
My
Aruba.
studio.
I thought you were vacation.
It could be whatever. It could be to create, or it could be on vacation. Absolutely.
I mean,
say
anywhere
Aruba.
that there's a palm tree, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I like Keith's answer on that. Anything with a palm tree and some sun.
Yeah.
Love
Beach
it.
chair, some drinks, I'm good.
Yep.
You're just describing like Point Pleasant at the Jersey Shore right now, right? Like it could be tiki bar or whatever.
Anywhere relaxing.
Anywhere relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have so much going on with your creative stuff that you want to go somewhere that you can really unwind.
Yeah.
Vin, do you have a favorite place?
I'd say editing room, or just
Mm-hmm.
out watching TV. No specific favorite place I like to hang out. Anywhere, pretty much. I'm not
Love
too
that.
picky.
Favorite sport? 1, 2, 3.
UFC.
Baseball.
Football and baseball.
Keith, I didn't get yours. What?
UFC. I like Ultimate Fighting.
UFC.
Yeah, I'm
I
into
wasn't
that.
expecting that from you.
Ah.
Really?
It's entertainment.
That's true. That's
Yeah, Keith
true.
secretly fights on the side.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, can't you
Look,
tell by
you
my
guys can
physique?
do anything. I'm convinced, so I wouldn't be surprised. And
Yeah.
Peter, you said NFL?
Baseball.
Baseball. Okay.
Baseball. Big baseball fan.
Most of my life it's been baseball, but lately it's turned more into football.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. That's okay. You're allowed to evolve. I know you played baseball, and
Yeah.
here you are working at
Baseball,
MLB.
I'm seeing it every day. Like you get like
Exactly. You want
down
something new?
constant games every
Amazing.
single day. So it's like football switches it up a little bit, and it's only once a week. And
True. It's a lifestyle though, right? The fall's coming. It's a
That-
commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Favorite holiday? 1, 2, 3.
Halloween.
Christmas.
Christmas. That's
Christmas.
sweet. Okay. I got 2 Halloweens and 1 Christmas. Keith and Peter, you're both into the Halloween vibes?
Oh,
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
Christmas. I'm into.
Big
I mean, I
Christmas
love
too?
Halloween too.
I say
Like, Halloween and
but
Christmas
my
are my
second
two
favorite
top.
for Christmas is that classic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Totally different vibe, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but Halloween, like for
Yeah.
you guys and what you're doing, I mean, there's just so much excitement over horror. Like where
Yeah.
everybody wants to, be scared in October,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
so I can't wait to see what happens for you guys in this film. So let's go a little slower on this one. Favorite filmmaker? Peter, do you want to start?
I guess it's John Carpenter, just because of the Michael Myers series, Halloween, and he really kicked off that genre by making the movie he did. And even Halloween 2 was pretty good. Wes Craven, without him, you don't have the Nightmare on Elm Street. And the recent one, Damien Leone with The Terrifying.
Yeah.
He's the reason why gore movies are coming back. In the early 2000s, it was deemed that there was no audience for that. And Damien only took that chance. He wrote a great script and he had a lot of gore in it. And it turns out there was an audience for it. He's definitely an inspiration for that. But I would say John Carpenter, because without him, I don't think you would have any of this type of horror today.
Agree. Keith, favorite filmmaker?
I'm gonna have to go with David Fincher, popular for Fight Club, another movie, Seven. I just love his work. You can tell that it's his style. He goes for those different type of angles, which
Mhm.
I love. I love always trying to do something different. I really like his work.
Favorite filmmaker of all time? It
I
could
was
be
gonna-
you, by the way.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Jaws was a classic. Like I love the way he put that together with all the different challenges that they had with the shark not working and having to go from a camera perspective to keep the suspense going all the way to the end of the film when they finally showed the shark. I think that really made the film. I like Andy Muschietti, who did the remake of the It movies, and he's a prequel series that comes out this fall. the way they did those It movies, that was like amazing. So I love him as a director. Damien Leone, who's an independent film director who did the Terrifier franchise. He does his own prosthetics and he builds the actual gore scenes and prosthetics to make everything look realistic. So I definitely look up to him for what he's doing since I'm trying to do the same thing now.
One day I'm going to ask this question to another set of people, and they're going to say Keith Cotugno, Peter Janiec, and Vin Vilardi. You guys are doing amazing work as filmmakers, and
Thank you.
I applaud you for living the dream and making your dreams come to life with this film, Trapped Inside My Sin. Let's take it to Trapped Inside My Sin. We'll keep it slow. Favorite scene in this film, without giving anything away to people who haven't seen it yet.
That's tough.
Our favorite moment could be back behind the scenes.
There's a moment that I like, the what and everything, that was Ben and Linda, that they actually start talking, and it's intense. It builds up. It's one of my favorites, and I think we nailed it. Once we did, we all looked at each other and we're like, that was it.
Okay.
I like the opening scene, the suspense in the opening scene, and how that all built up to the crescendo at the end of it. But the part when he's fishing and he gets harassed by the demon, those are my two favorites.
Peter, what's your favorite scene?
That's a hard one because there was so many favorite scenes in that. Again, I can't give it away. You got to watch the movie. But the ending, I thought, was done very nicely. One scene in particular is one Ben goes out for a job and he hears a cry for help. And without giving it away, it leads to a really, really good suspenseful jump scare. As simple as that scene was, I thought it was super effective. And I thought that we all pulled it off very, very nicely. It was filmed very nicely. So that's my favorite scene, on top of many other favorite scenes that we had in the movie.
Well, anybody who hasn't yet tuned in, watch it on Fossum or Tubi, or to be very soon on other platforms as well, including Amazon Prime. I'm so excited for you guys. This is so random, but I have to ask this one. Does anyone have any famous relatives who maybe have inspired this lifestyle and creative path that you guys are taking?
Yep.
Cousin Vincent. Vincent, he was in the movie Ghost. He was in the Ghost in the Subway. Fast Times at Richmond High. He was a science teacher.
Yep.
I think he was also in a James Bond movie. I thought I saw him in one.
Nice.
He was the partner of the Penguin in Batman Returns.
So Vincent, your uncle's full name one more time?
Vincent Schiavelli.
Vincent Schiavelli. It's funny that you're Vincent as well. He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest too.
About to see that one too.
Famous.
Thriller. And I just watched his scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where he's literally opening a cadaver and showing a heart to his students, and everybody looks like they're about to pass out. This was after I watched you guys film, and I was like, wow, this legacy of horror genre, of dealing with the weird and bringing these things to life on film.
We recently found out about Gina. That's in the film as well.
Went viral on TikTok.
Awesome.
She was the Chick-fil-A girl.
Yeah.
The Chick-fil-A girl is your cousin.
We found out recently, right before we shot the movie, that.
Yeah, it was my dad and your mom's cousin's daughter.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's something's running in our blood.
I totally agree. And you guys keep it in the family too. I love it. Peter, you're obviously honorary member of the
honorary member.
Yep.
Vilardi Cotugno family. Absolutely. You guys created this thing, had this baby, this beautiful work of art, this film that you created as your debut full featured film. First time that you saw it on the big screen, where was it? Was it at home? Was it at a film festival? At a movie theater? Where was it? And how did you feel?
So the final product, we did the movie theater premiere back in March for friends and family and cast and crew. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. We did it at the Cinemark in Wayne, New Jersey.
Yep.
Like one of those public theaters. So to have that experience, it was just like with the surround sound and seeing it on the big screen, it was definitely a surreal feeling. Everybody really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was surreal seeing it on the actual movie screen. Vinny was like, I'm renting a theater out. I'm like, what? And then when we got there, I was like, wow, this is legit. So really
it's a very, very proud moment. Very proud moment to see that final product up there. And to see, I think it was 110 seats per day, 220 in total. And we sold out both days. And for everybody to compliment the film on its storytelling and what it looked like, It was a very proud moment for all three of us. We created a good product, something that people enjoyed because it's all about good storytelling. We just wanted to tell a good story and hope that it
Exactly.
resonates with the audience.
I
Exactly.
remember not this past March, but the March before that, Pete and I met one of our actresses, Marilyn Rodriguez, who played Kimberly. We met her at a Cheesecake Factory and had a big conversation with her about her acting. He went to high school with her.
Cool.
Yeah.
We spoke with her and she was all on board with wanting to be a part of the film.
Because this is
Ben's
the
wife.
Ben's wife, so she's the leading actress.
She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did an amazing
An
job.
amazing
Yeah.
person, an amazing
Absolutely.
actor as well.
It's amazing how you go from a meeting at the Cheesecake Factory and then you see the final product on the big screen. It's like, wow, this
Yeah.
actually all came to life.
I kind of get it. Like now that I'm part of the cool guy club right here, like I don't want to leave it. I think you guys have this charisma that if you have an idea and a vision and you explain it to somebody, they're in. So I hope that you use that for good going forward. So, Vin, tell us more about your vision for the film. How did this story come to be?
I wanted to do a unique type of paranormal film. I knew there was going to be like an exorcism in it, but I didn't want it to be like your typical exorcist kind of a film. I wanted the background to be a unique story that people could relate to, which I never really saw before in a demon kind of a film. I figured, oh, I'm going to go with a sin that can create somebody to get possessed. I'm going to call it Trapped Inside My Sin. And it kind of manifested into this big feature story.
It's interesting how you took something that's relatable and you gave it this spin that that really takes you into the depths of your psyche and makes you understand what the character is going through and makes you wonder while you're watching the film what's real, what isn't, what's in his head, what's really out there. We talked about how you guys know each other, but in terms of coming together for this particular feature film as a production team, how did that go?
It was really Vinny reached out to me. He knew I was into music and I had a whole studio in my house. I've been doing my whole life, so he knew what I had to offer. I was excited to get into a project with him because I was like, this just makes sense. Like we were watching
Exactly.
movies all our life, and I've been always wanted somebody to work with. I just never had friends that were really passionate about it, really driven to do that. It was a big thing to do, to make a movie. Once Vinny came to me, it was a done deal. I'm like, let's do it.
I knew he was super talented with music and sound and everything. I figured that's a big piece that I could bring to the table to make the film take it to the next level. Being that he's a big part of my family, we really like puzzled together well because I'm with video editing side of things, he's on the sound music side of things, so kind of just is a
Clicked.
cohesive unit.
Hand in hand, yeah.
With Pete, we've been friends for such a long time. I remember he was watching The Terrifier with Damien Lee.
Oh, you're bringing this one up. Okay, let's get crazy.
I walked into his living room, and he had this really dirty scene. I'm not going to give away like what happens in that scene, but it was really, really gnarly. It was super disturbing. I'm like, I could never imagine myself doing anything like this one day. After a couple of years, I'm like, oh, I want to start making horror films. It manifested to now we're starting to do stuff like this.
Love it.
I'm going to give it away. So he walked into the movie Terrifier, and it was the scene where the individual was hung upside down and she was being cut in half.
By a certain area.
And of course, me and Vinny, being as close as we are, walked into my house. I don't have to answer the door for him. And as he came in, I turned around and I'm like, oh, hey, Vinny. Yeah, this is so on my screen right now.
So let me ask you a question. As you guys have written and created horror film, full feature, short films, does this make you laugh when you see this stuff? Somebody hung upside down and being cut in half? Or does it give you a rush? Or are you just immune to it?
Early on, it was like super disturbing to me before I started making the films and stuff. I was just focusing on sports and documentaries. But once I got into like filmmaking and making horror films and being a part of the whole behind the scenes process, now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, that's really cool how they put that together, or how they directed that, or how they edited or did the special effect. So I look at it more from a creative
From a
standpoint now,
director's perspective.
not as much of a disturbing standpoint anymore.
I love that.
I've been in law enforcement. I've worked at a jail for 17 years, so I've been extremely desensitized.
Keith, what about you? How do you feel when you see a gruesome scene like that?
I've seen so many horror movies
Yeah.
since a kid. Like Vinny said, I'm more into the creative aspect of it, where see how it's done, what they use. I always want to try to do that in our films to make it better and make it more like lifelike and scare
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. For me, as the music is a key scary component. Like if I'm watching something on mute, it is totally different experience than if I have the full soundtrack, right? I think the music makes it super scary. I think as I was watching your movie, I'm sitting there half like, all right, I don't know if I can handle it. I made it through, but yeah, your stuff is super scary. So I know you guys have a little bit of demented minds behind your very calm facades.
A compliment.
Just a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, what was your process like in terms of getting this film into the big screen? And now it's a multi award winning film. What was the process from taking it to finished piece to submitting it for film festivals and for awards, nominations, and winning? What was that like?
There was a whole list of film festivals I wanted to submit it to promote the film. We ended up doing the opposite of what a lot of people do. We ended up getting distribution during the whole submission process. We had distribution. There was no like set release date at the time of when it was going to be out in streaming. When I spoke to all the different film festivals, they said we were still eligible to submit. We wanted to go through with it for a promotional purpose. We're still waiting on a bunch of film festivals. Recently, we were in the Golden Door Film Festival in Jersey City. We ended up getting 8 different nominations. We were runners up to Steven Spielberg's son's film, Martyr of Gowanus. He actually was the lead actor in it. Holt McCallany was one of the other supporting actors, and he was in Iron Claws, the father in Iron Claw. So he's a up and coming, like well-known actor. Brian Muir directed it. He's an up and coming director. And yeah, the connections to bring them on his film, and it was a bigger budget film, but to go up on the same screen as them and have our names listed next to those names was a surreal moment.
Congratulations. Who does that happen to, that you're pursuing these film festivals and you get your distribution just like that?
It happened pretty quick. Yeah, we had to go through a bunch of different companies. It took a couple of months, but we ended up clicking with Breaking Glass Pictures. It was also in association with Deliver Films because it's a division within their company, and they merged together and distributed our film, and now it's getting on these different platforms.
Congratulations, guys. It's huge and it's so good. I'm so happy to know you guys, really. I'm like... So let's talk more about the film plot. Tell me more about the mental health component of the storyline. Pills and mental patients and so much thriller stuff happening. So what is going on between the ears in these characters' world? What is the mental health the storyline going on here? Tell me more about it.
What's happening is the demons are punishing the victim for a sin that they committed, and they're starting to have hallucinations. So by punishing them, the demon will go within their family members and harass them, and they'll start seeing things, but the family members and other people around them don't see what's going on. They think that that person's going crazy. That's why Ben ended up in a mental institution. The pills is because he thinks he's having hallucinations, and he's just taking different psychotic type of medications so to try to get over this. It's not working.
The first guy did too. I connected the dots on that right away, and I'm like, oh, this is some foreshadowing here.
And it kind of transpired to the rest of the film.
It was dark. Okay, so the basement scene's super scary. I'm not going to reveal anything. Really, the stuff of nightmares. How do you use light, dark, subterranean themes, the innocence maybe of child actors? How do you use some of these things to invoke some of your evil, demonic themes that you alluded to with creating this film?
I think the child actors add a creative aspect to the film, as far as if you have like kids that are either scared or maybe even possessed in certain moments, or it's a questionable, are they actually is the demon inside of them, or are they going to come after the parents? It adds a little extra element of suspense to the film and flavor to the film. So I wanted to show that with such a low budget in the first feature, being able to bring the best out of child actors can really show your skill sets as a director to get them to perform at their best at such a young age. It also gets them exposure to get comfortable in their own skin acting, so when they get older, maybe it's something they really want to do when they grow up.
Oh man, when that little girl walked by the basement door and he's like, "Oh, are you my daughter?" And no, and closed the door. Oh my gosh.
Well, used to be a setup to try to want their toes.
Yeah. Fills with suspense.
Yeah.
Man, I felt that. It was awesome.
Vinny was saying, like, the basement aspect is, as a kid, we're all afraid of the basement.
Why is that?
We thought about that during...
It's because of people like you who are creating these movies about basements and scary stuff happening down there.
Yeah.
When we were filming the opening scene, we saw the basement. We came up with that extra little aspect to that opening scene on the fly.
Yeah.
And kind of just wung it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it too, of creating, like, where you just think of things on the fly and, like, it
Yeah.
works. It's that magic.
I feel it. You guys really did create something special. There's so much to this storyline. So Vin, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Religious symbols used throughout the film. Noticed you have crosses, priest, upside down triangles, blood, the eyes. Talked about the exorcism. What is their meaning to you as a writer, as a director? How did you add that in to enhance the film, as an art theme?
The upside down cross, especially on the rock, that blood represents evil and worshiping the devil. That was to symbolize that there's evil overlooking the house. And that was committed when he's doing his research to look up demons. You see the upside down crosses. He's just trying to figure out, what does this all mean? So I was trying to create a little puzzle of symbolism that represents the film. And the eyes, all the demons look super creepy looking. We got different colored contact lenses. So getting the contacts in people's eyes that never wear contacts before, that was the hardest part.
Like the yellow eyes, the liquor store, blood
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
walls, just
We added like a little bit of CGI in the liquor store eyes. Those were contacts, but then we had a little CGI added to make the eyeball pupil even bigger.
it was creepy. And he was talking as if nothing was going on with all the stuff happening on his face. It was
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah, you did a really great job with that. So it seemed to me that there's this inner struggle, right, between good versus evil. So do you want to talk more about good versus evil as a theme in the film?
I think it's also like a life lesson in a way. If they're religious or they believe in the devil and God and all that, that's everybody's personal preference. But I think for people that do believe, it could be a really like a wake up call for a lot of people, because a lot of people, unfortunately, in the world commit certain sins and don't admit to it. But if they watch this film, I'm not saying it's going to definitely provoke them not to continue to do what they do, but it might be a little bit of a wake up call.
Decisions have consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was definitely a morality to this, right? Where this person's sin that he had kept under wraps and just downplayed really was creating his own mental prison, manifesting as the demons. There's so much symbolism here. And the truth will set you free, right? I love the camera angles. I love the expansive views of Jersey. What was it like to work on location? Peter, maybe you can tell us more about any learnings from scouting the locations, what your process was like.
Oh, it was definitely challenging because we had to find the location that fit the script and the scene. That would be the toughest part. And I think we got super creative in doing that. It was definitely challenging, but at the same time, it was gratifying because once you found the location, it was to build the set on the location. And with the budget we had, it was challenging, but seeing how the scenes came out and how super creative Keith was and Benny was on shooting it, it made it very gratifying. You just can't pick a spot and be like, hey, we're filming here. It has to match the story. No, the scenes have to connect with each other. You can't shoot on one location and then go to another and then the audience goes, wait a minute, that doesn't look like the other location. It's definitely challenging, but it was fun. It was really cool to be creative because we had to get super creative.
Yeah.
There was a scene where we created, not to give it away, but there was two offices that you're going to see in the film. In the film, there are two different locations in the film, but they were shot right next to each other.
Yeah. And
See
And
that?
just through
Camera
creative
magic.
shooting, we were able to build a set right next to each other that looks like two different locations. That was location scout.
I've lived in
Yeah.
Central Jersey before, and it felt so familiar. So I think whatever you did in terms of the creative scouting process, it worked really well.
No, I appreciate that. And that helps too when you're watching a horror film. And if it does remind you of like where you used to live or whatever, that can make it even creepier.
Yes,
It's all relatable.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Keith and I are from Long Island, where they had the Amityville horror, not too
Yeah.
far from where we grew
Yeah,
up. So we are
been there a few
familiar,
times.
yeah, with the creepy locations. Yes,
Yep.
close to home. Let's talk more, Keith, about the music. So the music was seriously scary. So thank
Thank you.
you. Tell us more about your music score and your process for telling the story through sound.
Sound is super important. I think it's right up there with the dialogue. But the way I do it, I just hit the ground running and I just watch and then I'll just create. I don't come to the studio with a plan already. I'm just watching and I'll create and then I'll be like, this wasn't too good. I'll go back. I'll do it again. It's a lot of trial and error. The biggest thing is sound selection. For me, it's like finding the right sound. I can spend hours going through hundreds of sounds. If it's not the right one, it's not. I have to go back again. But the way I like to do it, it's really bringing in roots to like the electronic music realm of the build-ups, like we were talking before, like with techno, the build-ups and then the drop. I want to incorporate that in the horror movie soundtracks. I want to build up with that tension and then have that drop. I incorporate that into it. I like building it up and having people not know where it's going to go. It could be scary or it could be a different type of sadness, but that's the power of it. You can have a happy song and crazy scene, and it could give a totally different vibe to it.
You used electronic music to the build up, the crescendo, the drop.
I use hardware synths that I have. I try to get that John Carpenter vibe to it. I wanted to bring that into our new age of horror films and get that retro vibe.
Let's talk more about the collaboration. What was it like to cast and work with the talent? Were there any actors that you want to shout out for their great work?
Yeah, Brian Pollock, our lead actor, he did a phenomenal job. He has a lot of experience. He was a professional on set. He gave me a lot of advice along the way because he's worked on a lot of big films in the past. Every day he brought 100% to that character. And he was well prepared for everything he needed to do, even from a continuity perspective with what his wardrobe was. Dan Gregory, who played the priest, he's an amazing guy. He reaches out to me almost every day, checking in. He's got a lot of different connections, and he's an amazing actor. He dominated as a priest. Pete's priest at his church, he actually allowed us to use their church location for the film. Dan Gregory actually met with him to learn how a priest would act in an exorcism situation or any kind of situation to be as professional as he could. He got the right wardrobe for it. Dan was well prepared, and he's a big time professional on set. He did a phenomenal job playing the priest. And he also brings a lot of connections to the set as well, like a lot of different actors and actresses that he can bring to different sets, especially Trapped in Time. He brought in 3-4 different actors and actresses.
Awesome.
So it gives me a lot of different options.
I thought your cast was really well selected and worked really easily well together. Could have been a real family in Jersey with the teenage daughter who's on her phone and the younger son. Like I just really identified with
kids did a phenomenal job. Honor and Kira, who played the two main kids, they it was Connor's first time acting. For his first time, I thought he did a really, really good job. And then
absolutely.
Victoria, who played the mom in the beginning in the insane asylum, she dominated. I think everybody did an amazing job.
Victoria in the mental state, man, she's got some chops. So Keith, Peter, any experiences you want to share with the talent that you really appreciated their work?
I got to shout out my one of my good friends, Ryan Walsh. He played Spencer in the
he dominated that opening scene.
Yeah, he's just a great guy. He's super talented in what he does. He just comes in, does it, and like nothing. He's a good friend of ours. Vinny knows him very well now,
and he's gone out of his way big time, not only with that film, but one of my short films in the past too. He played in that opening scene, so he's always going out of his way to help, even not only as an actor, but he brings different logistics to set as well, like lighting and all these different pieces of equipment that we need help with. So he's always in communication with us.
I think everybody did such a great job shooting this movie with the actors. There was no drama. Everybody bought into the movie. Everybody bought their A game. Brian Pollock and Marilyn Rodriguez, their chemistry together was unbelievable. In the movie and even off the movie, how they worked with each other to prepare for their role was just watching two professionals. It was an amazing job that they did. Dan Gregory doing what he did in the film was amazing. And everybody else, everybody showed up and they were truly committed to the movie. They believed in the storyline. And that's credit to Vinny as well. Vinny, directing the movie, he set the tone of it and we followed it and we made the movie that we did. But all the actors deserve every bit of credit for this, especially because of the budget that we had. Everybody was finding ways to make this movie work and make it the best type of movie possible. So they all told a great story.
Same could be said for you three, really. The most humble, down to earth, let's get it done vibe from you guys as a directorial and production team. I understand why all the actors brought that too, because it just resonates and everybody wants to hang out with you and be part of your art. Vin, you're so down to earth, dude. You wrote this story that's now an award-winning feature film at Cinemark and Tubi and soon to be Amazon Prime. This is the dream that people have, that maybe one day I'll direct a film or I'll write something that'll be you did it.
It's great. I gotta remind myself of that. Sometimes I'm pretty critical at times. Just want to keep getting better and keep elevating us to that next level, but I gotta sit back sometimes and just enjoy the process and the moment of where we're at.
Well, if I'm gonna name drop anybody else, I really love Adam Sandler. He always keeps all his friends tight. And he's got this
Yep.
crew and they work together on everything, and every film is just amazing because you could tell it's fun, right? And it just the crew keeps growing, and you know that's
Yeah.
just their life. And I see you guys doing the same
I
thing,
try to
you know,
bring
horror genre, but same thing.
as many of the same people as possible back to my new film sets. As long
Exactly.
as they fit the bill for that specific story, I try to bring as many people back as possible.
That's why they're loyal and bring their A game, right? We talked about all the talent and such a talented cast. Anybody in the crew who worked with you guys, for you guys, that you might want to shout out for helping to make it all work.
My AD Brianna, she was super organized on set. She kept everybody like with the track of time of when things needed to be completed. Like if we were like running behind on set as far as time, she'd be like, all right, we got to speed it up if we want to get these scenes done today. She'd keep me on my toes as far as the organizational aspect. She would get the schedule together and a whole spreadsheet together. So she did a really, really good job. She really wants to work with us again on our next project. So
This
to
is
bring her on
Brianna Victoria.
for you. And then
Good job.
Ryan Hernciar and Dan Morales both also, along with Keith, shot the film. So they all were very creative as far as being behind the camera.
Good for you, Keith. Behind the camera too. The camera angles were so good.
Thank
now I
you,
get to
yeah.
tell you face to face.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yep, I'll be dabbling more in the camera world.
Love it.
Thank you.
You guys really pulled it off.
We had a bunch of PAs and grips like Brian, our audio, and my friend Mike. He helped out with audio and also building the sets and moving the lights around. We had a lot of different people that chipped in to help out in those aspects.
Awesome. What is next for you guys?
We're in the post-production process of the little teaser promo. So that's going to be a unique slasher style film that hasn't really been created before. That's the style that we're doing with the story and the twists and the turns. And more in detail about that once things start to progressing. There's a bunch of different festivals we're still waiting to see if we get into for the fall. We'll be able to continue to showcase the film at those festivals. And obviously, as it keeps getting on different streaming platforms, keep promoting what platforms the film's getting on. And then we'll start shifting gears for this next project.
Any thoughts on a sequel? Lots of sins out there that we can be trapped by.
Yeah.
Definitely opens it up for sequels down the road. But I think once we get this next project under wraps, I think once we have like a bigger budget, then we'll revisit the Trapped Inside My Sin series and keep making more films.
It's coming. I could feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I could feel it,
I
guys.
feel it too.
The trajectory's been crazy. So is there anything else that you want to talk about in terms of Trapped Inside My Sin?
Another guy I wanted to shout out was Gio Driscani. He had a very small role in the mental institution when they were interrogating Linda. It was like a really scene. He brought a lot to the table as far as marketing. His marketing agent and himself, they both promoted the film. He always reaches out to me, checking in and see how I'm doing and asking about opportunities. This guy, Troy Burbank, that I met through Dan Gregory, they worked on a film called What Lives Here. It was shot down in the Atlantic Highlands at the Strauss Mansion.
Ooh.
It's a crazy slasher film. I'm not going to give too much away on that one, just it's his film and everything. I saw it at the Smod Castle last year and it was really well done. It's going to be on August 26th. It'll be on multiple platforms. It's on Amazon to purchase.
What's the name of his film? One more time.
It's called What Lives Here.
What Lives Here, filmed in
Atlantic
Highlands, Jersey.
And hopefully I'll get to work with him in the near future. Dan Gregory acted in that film, so if people want to see more Dan Gregory,
Ooh,
phenomenal job.
Awesome. I love that you promote your peers and your colleagues who are doing their thing and really at the top of their game and right about to blow up. I'm really excited for you guys. That's why you have all this really good stuff coming to you. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Appreciate everything. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you for hosting us.
Yeah,
You
thank you,
are so
Jackie.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we'd be happy to come back on again to talk about our future projects as we keep.
Man,
Definitely,
I
yeah.
knew there was a sequel in our future. I can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Got it out of him.
Stay tuned. So I'll talk to you guys soon and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So
Jackie.
scary.
Thank you.
Bye.